The recent killings and torture of innocent civilians in Kenya are on the rise. Barely 2 weeks after Albert Ojwang was allegedly tortured to death by a police officer, another shocking incident has emerged. This time, the police are not acting in the shadows. They are not hiding behind closed doors. On June 17th, uniformed officers, now identified as Police Constable Clinzy Baraza Masinda and Constable Duncan Kiprono, opened fire in broad daylight. Their target was not a protester, but an innocent bystander, Boniface Kariuki, who was not involved in the demonstrations. The shootings happened on the streets of Nairobi in full view of the public and in front of the cameras. The judiciary, an institution constitutionally bound to remain impartial, has broken its silence. In a carefully worded statement, it expressed concerns over the growing reports of police brutality. The judiciary expresses its concern over rising incidents of unjustified police brutality and the growing trend of peaceful protests being infiltrated by goons who disrupt peaceful assemblies and endanger the lives of protesters. They further go on to say that as some of these matters are now before the courts, the judiciary wishes to assure the nation that the courts remain committed to their constitutional mandate to uphold justice, including in cases relating to police brutality and other forms of misconduct. The Law Society of Kenya was more direct. In a press conference, LSK President Faith Odhiambo condemned the excessive force by police, accusing them of orchestrating and supervising the chaos.
It is an anthem that the police respond to calls for their reform by perpetrating further atrocities and extrajudicial killings.
She also criticized the continued use of face coverings by officers, despite a law prohibiting police from wearing masks while on duty.
We therefore as well demand for the judiciary to play their part. You cannot at one part say that you condemn, yet when the matters are presented before you, you do not take action that is within your powers.
The International Commission of Jurists, Kenya chapter, has also issued a strong statement condemning the shooting of Boniface Kariuki. The ICJ confirmed that Kariuki was a young vendor selling masks in the CBD, clearly uninvolved in the protests. Their statement reads verbatim that the International Commission of Jurists that the same protests, ironically and tragically, were being held to demand justice for Albert Omondi Ojwang, who died in police custody just days ago under deeply suspicious circumstances, and that they are horrified that in the space of 1 week, the very act of demanding accountability for one death has now left another young life hanging in the balance. As the story makes headlines both locally and abroad, the Washington Post published an article about it, and the People Daily called the incident anarchy, cold and inhuman. Tough questions are now being asked. Is the situation spiraling out of control? Why are police officers so emboldened that they shoot in public, in full uniform and in broad daylight? Who is giving the orders? And was the shooting of Boniface Kariuki a distraction to shift public focus from the death of Albert Ojwang? And if so, are the real perpetrators being quietly protected? Fatma Chidagaya, K24, Nairobi.